to Read the Book First, the book to movie adaptation podcast. Today, we will be talking about The Sea of Monsters, Rick Riordan's second book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. And to help me dive into it, get it, see, is Amanda.
Hey guys, glad to be back. I know y'all have missed me.
I mean, they missed everything because as we're recording this, we've been on break. Season 5 has now started because this is not the first episode of the season. If you have not listened to our previous Percy Jackson episodes on Percy Jackson at the Lightning Thief, go listen to those. We talk about the book, the movie music, the musical, and this TV show.
First 2 episodes of the TV show.
Yes. Go back. That was the end of season 1. Go listen to those. I'm so excited to watch the TV show. I looked on my Goodreads, and I read this last time 10 years ago in 2015.
Wow.
And then I read it like probably 2 or 3 times when it was coming out because I was a huge Percy Jackson kid. And like we've talked about this again in our previous Percy Jackson episodes. But it's been 10 years since I reread this. Mm-hmm. And I thought, because remember in 2020, I read all the Heroes of Olympus.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, oh, I must have reread Percy Jackson. I didn't. I just went straight into Heroes of Olympus for the first time in 2020. So
I still haven't finished Heroes of Olympus.
Oh, you got it. Of course you haven't finished it. But now there's more books.
I know. And I still have the Christmas gift you got me 3 years ago. 3 years ago?
Yeah.
However long it was.
Yeah.
I have the book to read, but I can't read it until I read the Heroes of Olympus.
Yeah.
So I got to read Blood of Olympus.
And there's a second one.
I know, and I'm like...
So it's like, you can't even use your excuse, I don't know if there's going to be another one, because there are other ones. Yes.
That's not an excuse, it's a valid reason. Sometimes.
Sure. Anyways. This book is, I will say, in my memory, and when I was rereading this, it is the weakest book of the original 5.
Oh, yeah. Especially, well, it's kind of funny because, like, this was my favorite book as a middle schooler.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense as a middle schooler.
Yes. And makes sense, particularly being the child that I was, where it's like the world's already established. We're not having to wait to learn what it's about. And we don't have to sit through the like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Yes.
And we already know the characters.
Yes.
And now we just get to go have a fun adventure with the same people.
Yes. And it is just continual retellings of
myths,
of Jason and the Argonauts, of the Odyssey. Like it is just retellings, but like in the best middle school adaptive way.
Yeah.
And when I was rereading this, I decided to bookmark every time characters were very purposely, not just like, oh, there's, the Cyclops character. No, it was like, oh, do you remember Jason? Like when it was like straight, like almost breaking the fourth wall of like, this is the Odyssey. This is Jason and the Argonauts, guys. Like, and so I was like, I'm going to bookmark every single time they're like, remember this character and we're going to meet and follow that journey, which it's a very middle grade book, especially a sequel.
Yeah. Especially like when you're still not 100% sure of what your audience is. These people should know these things and they're not going to be vague on purpose. But also at the same time, it's a little like, yes. Do you know, as I know you know, let me tell you about Jason and the Argonauts. Let me tell you about Tantalus.
Yeah, which is so interesting because you think this middle grade book series, each book is going to be like that, because often book series in middle grade, especially when this book was coming out in the mid to late aughts, when I was a middle grade reader specifically, like most chapter books or most books in the series were like that, with exception, even Harry Potter does it until like halfway through, right? Where it's like, okay, we're going to spend a lot of time exposition of like, remember this happened, and then we're going to follow the same exact plot points, but with a different vibe. And then, which is interesting, this does that, but then towards the end, Rick Riordan's like, but wait, guys, what if I then made the most interesting rest of the series that has to do with prophecy and all this stuff that you have to figure out this puzzle? And it's like, it's cool to see him as a writer evolve, because like the rest of the series is not like that at all.
No, it's not. And the thing about it is, I actually kind of have a slightly different take on that. Is this is actually having read a lot of this kind of novels. Yeah. A lot of times, the ones that are the most interesting and the best first one, you're getting the exposition into the world, and you get dive into it. You get the whatever. The second one is pretty much the first one, but with familiar characters and a slightly different adventure, pretty much the same stakes. And then in the third one, that's when they like depart from the status quo to like do things. I mean, they do that a little bit in Harry Potter. They do that in How to Train Your Dragon. They do that in, I'm trying to think of another good one. The Gallagher Girls. Spy Academy. They do that in a lot of like middle grade young adult books. Yeah. Not by coincidence. Usually I drop the book series after the third one. When they do like the big twist.
But this one, it's like it follows that pattern, but then like I'd say like the last fourth of the book, he's like, but wait, there's more. And we're gonna get it now, and we're not gonna wait until the next book,
the ending twist that I'm sure we're gonna get to in a little bit here is definitely like, this changes a lot of things.
Yes. Yeah. This book came out in 2006, and I remember begging my mom in our local Borders. Y'all remember Borders?
Yeah.
Rest in peace. In our local Borders, which how did we have a Borders in Ketchikan, Alaska? I don't know, but we did for about 4 years until it shut down. And I remember specifically sitting there and being like, I need this book, Mom. And she was like, what's it about? And I explained that it was about Greek mythology and all this mystical stuff. And my mom, who canonically doesn't give two rats behinds about anything that is not reality, not in a negative, oh, it's witchcraft way, just in a she doesn't care, she's apathetic. And I just remember her giving me this face and being like, I don't know. But you know what I did is I went home because I had Percy Jackson, the first one. I somehow had bought that or got someone to buy it for me.
I thought your mom had been reading it to Bo.
And I got it to read. I got her that before I got that. This is because I wanted this book. And so I was like, Bo's going to like the first one. And so I got my mom to read it with Bo. And since Bo liked it, then she was like, yes, you can now have the second one. And then I was on rickriordan.com watching all the countdowns to every single book release until the end through my high school, because that's when the last ones came out. Obsessed. But anyways, I was reading the first few chapters, and I just remember me sitting on the floor of the Borders begging my mom. But all that to say, I will say the exposition and remember the first book? It takes 7 chapters in this, and that's too long.
Yeah. It's kind of hard because they're retreading so much of the same ground. Like, oh, Percy is at a middle school. It kind of sucks. There's a bully.
So this time it's a hippie, almost Montessori-esque school, and it's a bad school. Can we talk about, well, first,
Yeah.
Before we dive into the school, they mentioned the blue food on page 45. Do they mention blue food in the first book?
Yeah.
I just didn't remember. But I was reading it, I was like, OMG, blue food!
No. In the first book, Percy talks about how, it's one of the few things that his mom has ever, really stuck it to Gabe on because they had an argument about blue food. Gotcha. So she, does it on purpose to piss him off.
I just didn't remember it or remember reading it. It didn't stick out. But when it did on this one, I was like, I wrote blue food. I was like, yes. But yeah, so this hippy dippy school that they go at.
Yeah.
They don't have grades. They talk to their teachers in their first name. They're still a bully, but this time he's a rich asshole, which no one's surprised. But the school has adopted a homeless teenager.
Yeah.
As a school community project.
Yep. It's real freaking weird. And the only way it even makes a little bit of sense is because it's magic.
It's because, yeah. And the whole time, Percy knows that this is a weird situation, but he goes with it. His mom's aware, but neither of them are like, this must be something mythical. You know what I mean? I mean, the mist is there and stuff, right?
But Sally can see through the mist, so it's weird that she never mentions. Yeah. But so that's I think that's the biggest evidence of a retcon in this whole series. Yes. Because in the fourth book, it's revealed that Sally can see through the mist, and she's one of those clear-eyed mortals. Mm-hmm. But somehow she never she still is trying to call Child Protective Services, and Child Protective Services is like, oh, well, he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And she doesn't
do anything. It's the biggest flaw of this book.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers me so much because I love Tyson.
Yeah.
And he needs to be protected at all costs.
He's so precious.
He's so precious.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be totally honest, I didn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you pointed out, oh yeah, no, it makes no sense.
Yeah, reading this as a 32-year-old for the first time in over a decade, I was like, that's wrong. What? Yeah, but as a kid, I was like, that makes sense. Hippie schools are weird.
Hippie schools are
But that's
weird.
true. Hippie schools are
and
weird.
I mean, reading it now as an adult, I was like, oh yeah, it's magic manipulation, and that's why. But I forgot about Sally.
Yeah.
How could I forget about our queen?
I know, we love Sally. We have a whole dodgeball with cannibals. So
Can
fun.
we talk about the school setting it up though?
Yes.
Because the school's like, we're going to have you reenact Lord of the Flies.
Yes.
And it's like, what?
Uh-huh.
Why would you do that on purpose?
Uh-huh. Well,
and without supervision.
It has to be that they're like, the only way it makes sense is that everyone there does not have a teaching license and is probably smoking too much weed, or they're all just being manipulated by monsters. And
it does feel like something that a super hippy dippy school would do, though.
Yeah, but not until high school, I feel like. Because I don't know.
It feels like a charter school thing where they don't have full licenses.
Yes, that for sure.
Yeah.
But they have a whole very dangerous dodgeball game
with cannibals that are throwing fire, and that's where Percy sees Tyson catch a fireball, and his immediate reaction is not, oh my gosh, you're a monster. It's, huh.
Interesting. Again, here we go, back into it. Percy No Thoughts Jackson is back at it. We love him. And who saves the day but Annabeth? Mm-hmm. She shows up in her invisible cap. Mm-hmm. We love Annabeth.
We do love Annabeth.
Yes.
She kind of throws a fit about Tyson, and we don't really understand why. Mm-hmm. Because, they haven't
discussed it.
They have to run their way over to camp. They take like a funky cabin.
With the Grey sisters.
And by cabin, I of course mean taxi.
Yes.
They do the whole stealing of the eye. Percy gets like coordinates. Yeah. And then they go to camp, and they're being attacked by a bull, I think.
Yeah, a big mechanical bull, because we find out that I say Talia, the show does not.
It says Thalia, which is wrong.
Yeah, I think it's Talia, right?
It is Talia.
Thank God.
That's how the TH in Greek is generally. Right? I mean, I guess there is theta.
Yeah. I like Talia anyways.
Talia sounds better than Thalia.
I've always thought it was Talia.
It's always been said as Talia.
Weird.
And anyway.
Anyways, more on that in later episodes. Talia's tree has been poisoned. So the borders of camp are now being overrun.
They're being weakened.
Yes. And so they arrive, and they have 2 metal bulls versus Clarice and a few soldiers as they battle. And Percy's the whole time like, I need to protect Tyson. He doesn't this mortal person that I just saw catch a fireball casually. He's my protection. Me, Perseus Jackson. Like, buddy.
Again, no thoughts, just vibes. And also, this is a little bit on Annabeth too, because she has not even tried to even a little bit explain to him, like, hey, Tyson is a Cyclops. Spoilers.
Yeah. And Annabeth reluctantly lets Tyson into camp because since he's a Cyclops, he is classified as a monster, so he needs permission to enter camp.
And so he then helps win the fight and catches like all the stuff. And Percy's like, oh my gosh, how did he not die? And then he looks up and he's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're a Cyclops.
OMG.
Fight's over, and Chiron is like, yeah, I'm getting exiled. Yeah. So
also, there might be a cure for the tree, but I don't know. I don't know if you guys know about it. Never mind. Don't mention it.
It seems
in a very
too
Chiron
dangerous.
Way.
Yeah, in a very I know you guys are going to end up there eventually, but I also don't want to really put ideas in your head because I don't want the gods to think that I'm manipulating you. Yep. But also, I'm kind of manipulating you.
Yep. And then instead of Chiron being there, they have Tantalus, who is one of the spirits from the field of punishment, and his whole thing is that he can never have food. And I love that they use this for comedic bits. It's like he's like an evil dude, and he's torturing these like
small children.
And
he brags about eating his kids at a campfire.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, that donut. And then the donut keeps running away from him. It's
and
funny.
she keeps trying to like sneak his hand into it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about the bit at the very, very end.
Yes.
But anyway, so Tantalus takes over and he's like, oh my gosh, who's going to take in this monster? He should go to the Hermes cabin, or maybe he should go in the stables. And then Poseidon claims him.
Yeah.
And Percy's like, oh.
Yeah. Then only child Percy has a like identity crisis.
Identity crisis, and also is low-key like, you're my friend, but also now this is very embarrassing because it was one thing to protect, to be your friend and be ostracized for it in like the real mortal world, but this is actually a place where I care about what people think about me.
Yeah. And poor Tyson, like, because we find out he's a Cyclops, it's not just that he's a Cyclops, he's a baby Cyclops. And even though he looks like a 14-year-old, he's like equivalent to 3 years old in Cyclops monster world. And so this is a literal like toddler going around this camp being bullied, like, poor baby. And
I mean, in all fairness, he's not getting bullied quite as much as just like ostracized, which is almost worse.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like 3-4 and you don't know what you're doing.
Also, we didn't mention this, Percy has been having dreams about Grover throughout this, and specifically about Grover in Florida, and like just.
Well, that's how that's the dream that he has before he gets to camp, is that Grover's in Florida and then is like kidnapped by this thing.
Because Grover is on his quest to go search for Pan.
Yes.
So Grover is not an active character, but as the story goes, keeps showing up in these dreams that Percy keeps having. And then also Tantalus reinstates the chariot races, which is like, this is so fun, but also within the story of, like, within the book itself, unnecessary. It's fun camp stuff.
It's also just there because it needs to be so clear that Tantalus does not care about these children's well-being.
Yes.
It needs to be there so that there's kind of a consequence for Percy and Annabeth, because Annabeth and Percy have like a blow-up fight because she's like, he's a monster, he shouldn't be here. And Percy's like, well, why are you being so blah, 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 blah about it? Like,
yeah,
you need to be my friend on this and be on my side. And it's like, trauma.
Yep, exactly. While they're preparing for the chariot races and Percy is dealing with having a new half-brother for the first time ever, at least in knowledge, Percy has a dream of Grover again, and this time it's Grover being like, I'm creating this emotional connection link. FYI, if I die, you die. If you die, I die. And like, this, I forgot about this part. I thought it was just Grover being like, hey, I'm in this cave.
Yeah, no, it's kind of messed up on Grover's part. It's like, hey,
you didn't ask for consent, my dude.
You didn't ask for consent.
Yeah.
You know that, like, I'm pretty sure, like, spoilers, I'm pretty sure Grover's aware of this prophecy.
Yes.
So maybe that's kind of what he was banking on, is like, fates wouldn't let Percy die. But he didn't tell Percy that. He was just like, hey, sorry, I can't. And it's like, okay, so you can't unmake this thing?
Yeah.
And also this empathy like gets dropped in later books too, so hard that it's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. But
it's just there as an excuse so that we know.
So we know where Grover is.
Oh, also Grover like is tricking this Cyclops into marrying him and doing the Penelope trick of like unweaving his like bridal whatever.
Again, very direct. This is a direct from, like, of course, this whole series has retellings of different myths and like takes a myth and like, what if it changes in this wacky modern way? But I feel like in this book specifically, it's just like, what if we copied and pasted and didn't edit as much, except for there's less dying. So I will say that.
There is less dying, but it's also just
it's more obvious in this one than the other ones.
Even in the first one.
Though I don't like, as a kid, loved it.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm like, it could have, because I know how good the other books get. I'm like, you have better stuff in here. Come on, man. Again,
it just feels like he was figuring out what his audience was and where he wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you're doing with the second book, because you don't know if you get a series yet.
Yes, exactly. At the chariot race, it gets they all get attacked by demon pigeons.
Yep.
Which I think is very fun.
Yes.
As someone who does not necessarily want birds near me, it was scary.
Well, it's also a Jason and the Argonauts thing.
Yes. then after the chariot race and they survive, it's
Clarice wins the chariot race, and Tantalus gives Percy and Annabeth a punishment because he's like, you guys distracted the birds and set them on fire, and that's why. And then that's when Percy and Annabeth talk about the dreams, because
and the golden fleece gets mentioned.
Because at first, when Percy and Annabeth were having their beef, he brings up this dream, and she's like, you mean you just happened to stumble upon the one thing that could save camp in your dream? You are trying to distract me. It's like, girly, this boy has no thoughts.
Right?
Fair enough. You're a child too, and you have trust issues.
Yes. And so they tell camp about the golden fleece idea, and Tantalus is like, Clarice, you get the quest, which Clarice has always wanted a quest because she just wants to please her dad, who is Aries.
He wants, and that's where that I know that we're not talking about the show, but that concept that the show brings up of that glory,
it's very good.
It's very good.
And the night before they're going, Clarice and whoever she chooses is supposed to go on the quest. Percy is hanging out by the ocean and just chilling, and then Hermes visits him again, and Hermes is like, "Hey."
Not again, for the first time.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first time that he's met Hermes in the book.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, man. And Percy's like, your son wants to kill me. And he's like, yeah, he's mad. Poor guy. I love Hermes. Don't get me wrong.
I love Hermes so much. He's just so nonchalant.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, and I know we've joked about this when we've talked about what kid which kid we would want to be. I would so want to be a Hermes kid, even though I know I'm not.
You're not. You're not. But Hermes is like, hey, here's a thermos full of wind, my guy.
Here's some multivitamins. Also, here's family stuff is complicated. I'm not really supposed to be here doing this, but low-key,
And he's like, if you see Luke, tell him I care about him, I guess.
Yeah.
And Percy's like, that's a lot, man.
And it's also you might have a chance. There's a white ship off this coast right here.
Yeah.
And the other funny part is when Percy's like, there's this random human jogger.
Yeah.
And it's like, Percy, darling.
Nothing is random in this camp.
I love Percy, no thoughts.
Oh,
just
so much.
vibes.
So much. And then he's like, well, how am I going to get to that boat? And he's like, your dad's the god of the sea. I bet if you ask him, he will help you.
You also have 3 minutes to decide because the harpies are about to find you. Your friends should be coming right about now.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, I guess I will ask Dad. And then suddenly we get the
hippocampes. Mermaid horses.
Yes.
And rainbow.
Yes. I love them. And because horses are scared of cyclopses, but Tyson is obsessed with them always. But finally he has these seahorses who are creatures of Poseidon, so therefore they're cool with Tyson, and Tyson's living out his dream. I love that.
And then also just the fact that they are mystical creatures that live under the sea probably means that they see cyclopses quite a lot in the underwater forges.
Yeah. So they get on the hippocampi and are able to sneak onto the cruise ship that Luke and all his evil dudes,
the Princess Andromeda,
I know, they're taking out to the Sea of Monsters to go and find Grover and the Golden Compass or something. Well, that's what Percy and them want to do. They don't necessarily know what Luke's doing yet.
Luke's just at first, it just sort of seems that he's just sailing around collecting demigods and other monsters. And frankly, that's probably why he was off the coast of Camp Half-Blood is because there's still probably a lot of really angry, upset children who like Luke, think he's cool. And are also our dads and moms kind of suck.
They grow in the army of rebellion. And so the three of Tyson, Annabeth, and Percy are all sneaking around the ship in a very poor way because, of course,
Tyson's huge.
Percy has no thoughts. Annabeth is mad at Percy and doesn't like Cyclops. It's not a good situation.
No, it's not. And they actually, it's sort of funny because they, with all the super hearing of the Cyclops, they managed to actually spy on the conversation. But the Cyclops is imitating the voices of the people that they're hearing, and Annabeth flips out on him. And that's when they get caught.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's Annabeth's fault because trauma, but
A little bit.
it was a little bit her
I
fault.
mean, of her mom being the god of wisdom. Girl.
I mean, wisdom don't mean you make good decisions all the time.
But they essentially find out that Luke is regrowing Kronos, and with creating his army of demigods and monsters, he is gaining more and more power. And I think this is when they put it together that like, oh, they want to get the Golden Fleece to reincarnate Kronos and to put him back together. Essentially, is what they put together.
Or I don't know if like Percy puts it together, but Annabeth does.
Yes. But they're able to escape, and they start going to these hideouts that Luke and Annabeth and Talia used to go on when they were running away and trying to find Camp Half-Blood. And this is where we get the monster donuts, which I think is such a funny idea that all these chain restaurants around the world are supposed to be like monster hideouts. And I think that's so fun.
I honestly, I totally forgot that this happened, which it is another kind of flaw of this book in a sense, because, I mean, again, love the book. It's fun. A lot of things just kind of happen.
Yes.
And it's not like the first book where you can excuse the fact that things are just kind of happening because it's a road trip. And plus the thing, like 90% of the things that happen on the road trip make sense.
Yes.
But this one is like, this is literally just here so that Clarice finds them.
Yeah, like, oh, they try to fight a Hydra and Percy is dumb and cuts off a head and there's two. Percy, come on. And then Clarice...
Well, to be fair to him, let me defend my boy here. He did not mean to do it. It was trying to bite him.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do? Let it bite him?
No. Be better.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
But yes, Clarice finds them, and Clarice has an ancient warship that her dad...
It's not ancient. It's the 1860s, and it's the Civil War.
That's ancient to me.
That's not ancient. That's
okay, I'm not a history major or working in a museum.
This is like modern history. It's only like 150 years old.
Anyways,
at the time of this book.
As in like not a modern one.
Yes, it's not modern.
Because we were just on a cruise ship, and now we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Clarice has been gifted a ship and an army from the Civil War because any
losing army owes tribute to Ares.
And for eternity, which seems like such a cheat code. It's essentially equivalent to the Lord of the Rings, the undead army.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we're almost going to lose, push this button, we now win, right?
It's also weird because it's the Confederacy.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't delve into it that much, but it's still like, huh.
But they're essentially in this weird purgatory where they have to just like
serve her forever.
Yes, Rick Riordan, you are a white man who is writing this and think this is like really like
cool.
Oh, and it's I'm flipping stuff on his head, and it's like, the idea is cool, but what if you just had it be random people who lost? Which I think the show might do. I think it's a mix of people who have lost battles, and I think that makes way more sense. Or left like, or
like generals who like retreated in cowardice.
Yeah,
that would be
that.
great.
That would make more sense, and they could have a mix of different time periods.
The other thing about it is if you think too hard about it, which of course I will.
Yes.
So you're saying that every single army that's ever lost a battle, including the Aztecs, including like the Maya and Inca, and literally every indigenous colonized group now has to serve this Western god in the afterlife? Or does it only apply to Western civilizations, which is also weird?
And then like you have to think about it in the bigger world, because eventually, spoiler alert, we find out that the Romans exist in this world and the Roman version of these gods. So then with all his other books, like the Norse mythology, and then he has all the imprints where he's other authors who writing about their different mythologies. It's like, do they all exist in this world? It starts to muddy up.
And then it's also weird because, and this is another like misstep of Rick Riordan, bless his heart, he implies that the Civil War was caused by the Romans and the Greeks.
Yeah. Like
fighting each other, and since Chiron like references Chamberlain, it's like, oh, the Romans are Southern, I guess. Is that what you're implying? Because that's really messed up.
Yeah, you can't think too hard about it. And unfortunately, we have.
And unfortunately, because this is one of those, like, this is a series for children.
Yes.
And but especially when you get like later into the books, it feels they get a little bit more intentionality with things. And that's where we do respect Rick Riordan, though he is not perfect.
No.
He does try to learn and grow.
Yeah. But at this point, what's I enjoy is that we see Clarice living out what she's wanted for so long, is that she has a gift, she has a quest, she has a gift from her father, acknowledgement from her father, and she gets to go and do the stuff that she's been training her whole life. Does she do it well? No.
But it's also really interesting because Percy, like, gives her a bunch of stuff about, like, oh, nobody from your, like, cabin came with you? Like, did nobody even want to help you? And she's like, you don't even know nothing. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we're going to find out why, but...
Yeah.
I like that this is one of my favorite parts of the book, that they give Clarice the kind of depth that she needs. Because the other thing that happens before everything goes down the drain is Percy sees Clarice talk to Ares, and they heavily, like, imply that Ares is very abusive. And...
You mean the God of War is not a good parent?
The God of War specifically based on the fact that, like, specifically based on the Western ideal of war and masculinity is not a good parent. Because there's evidence that Ares was actually, like, low-key a good parent in some parts of Hellenistic mythology. But also...
Yeah.
I don't know. We can, that could...
That's not the version that's in the Percy Jackson book. So they're entering into the Sea of Monsters, and this is where we get very much the stuff that happens in the Odyssey and with Jason. And Clarice wants control. She wants to make the best decisions, but her decisions and her, like, stress about being a leader ends up failing. And
also, like, as we find out later, the thing that the Oracle says
is that she needed help.
Is not only that she needed help, but she was going to fail without friends, but she was going to fly home alone, which is why she didn't bring anyone from her cabin, because she didn't want to lose them.
Yes, exactly. But in the, like, distress of the Sea of Monsters, Tyson, who is a Cyclops, who is just good with machinery, because that's what Cyclops do, he's like, this is going to blow up, I can go fix it. And so he goes down to try and work on the engines, but the ship still blows up.
Yeah.
And so then we have to deal with Percy grieving his baby brother, that he has, like, gone through this, hey, I'm helping you as a friend because we're both outcasts at school. Oh, wow, you're a Cyclops. What does this mean? Oh, you're my half brother? What does this mean? Oh, I'm responsible for you? Oh, you've died. Like within days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and this is where we see, like, if you, like, reading this, I was like, why did I mean, I was a child when I first read this. Of course, I didn't understand what was about to come in the next book. But in my head, I was just like, this is intense. The book cannot get this dark. Like the rest of the series when I was a kid. And I'm like, girl,
you sweet summer child.
You have no idea what's happening next.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
But also the part of the reason why the ship blows up is because they choose to go to Caribus and whirlpools, and it's bad. Anyway.
Yes. But Annabeth and Percy end up surviving because Percy does the bubble thing, right?
No.
That's later.
He
That's
does
later
the
with
wind
sirens.
thing. They do the wind thing.
Yes.
And it gets opened all the way because Percy's trying to go save Tyson, but Annabeth is like, we literally don't have time. Everyone go to lifeboats, and she unleashes the wind to get them to safety. Yeah,
and so Percy and Annabeth end up at Cece's, which is like a spa, and there's a lot of animals on this island, and women and animals. It's weird. And so they go and they meet Cece, and they take Annabeth away to go have, like, spa treatments or makeovers.
And she's like, Percy's gonna need my personal attention.
Yeah.
And he needs a complete and total makeover. And just totally manipulates him into drinking this magic potion that, spoilers, turns him into a guinea pig.
Which I love that it's a guinea pig and not just a pig.
Yeah. I think it's funny because it's very, like, yeah, like in the modern day, the line that Cece says, by the way, it's actually...
Oh, it's Cersei.
Yeah. The line that she says is like, yeah, pigs are so messy and hard to keep, and then guinea pigs actually are really profitable because you can go sell them to classrooms all over the place. And it's like, I hope you are selling them in pairs because guinea pigs are actually, like, bonded pairs. I don't think she's doing that, though.
No, because she doesn't like men.
Yeah.
She's torturing them on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
They're not guinea pigs. They're men.
Though they do kind of like start becoming more like the
Yes.
animals.
Yes. And Annabeth realizes this and it ends up coming back into whatever this chamber, takes one of Hermes' vitamins so that she is
Immune to Cece's magic.
yes, and then is able to give the guinea pigs the vitamins as well.
Yeah.
And so all these like guinea pigs turn into like men Blackbeard, but like a bunch of other like random people from
I think
history.
it's mostly like Blackbeards.
A lot of pirates.
Yes.
Which
A lot of
makes
pirates
sense.
of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. Nice. But they commandeer Blackbeard's ship, which I love.
Yeah.
And they continue on through the Sea of Monsters, and then they approach the sirens.
Yeah. And Annabeth is like, I
Annabeth
need to
wants to
listen.
Yeah, and so they
Okay, Odyssey.
right? And so she ties up Percy and is like, no matter
He ties up.
yeah, but just like no matter what I like say in pain, do not untie me at all. And Percy's like, okay, I have wax in my ear, I can't hear it. And so he's just like, as they go through, he's watching his like best friend, besides Grover, like start like screaming and crying and like trying to get at.
But he forgot to remove her knife.
Right?
Like, I know it's Percy. It's very like.
Or what gets me is that Annabeth forgot to tell him to take the knife. That's what's more of a plot hole rather than Percy forgetting. Because of course Percy forgot.
Yeah.
He only knows Riptide exists. What other weapons exist? You know?
I love how like a lot of series that you go back and read, the book is you have to kind of look at it with this element of the main character is an idiot and you have to accept it, even though he's not supposed to be an idiot. Percy is an idiot.
Percy's an idiot and I love him.
Yes. Percy's an idiot, and it's not because he's like actually dumb. It's just because his priorities are friends, not dying.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Friends not dying. Okay, 2 thoughts. And there soon, next book will be a 3rd thought.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, like, he kind of rotates back and forth,
Yes.
and the friends takes the priority over him not dying.
Yes.
Every time.
Almost every time. Yeah. Oh yeah, every time.
So he really only holds one thought in his head at all times.
Yeah. And so Annabeth,
Friends and his mom.
yes. Well, honestly, Mom's barely in there.
Oh yeah, she's barely in here, but like, think about the first book.
Yeah.
So when it's that one thought kind of thing.
Yeah.
He has one thought in his brain, and sometimes it's his friends, sometimes it's his mom, sometimes it's
Don't die.
don't die.
Yeah. But Annabeth is able to escape being tied up because she has her knife, and she dives into the water to try and fall under the siren's call. And Percy jumps in the water, saves her, makes an air bubble around her. It carries her to safety. And this is the beginnings of Percybeth. And I'm so excited for the rest of the series.
The beginnings of Percybeth are when he sees her like maked over by Cece, though.
Well, yeah. But like, no, but this is like very like.
Yeah, no, this is very like very, very, very.
I mean, he's been obsessed with her since the very beginning.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. This is the 3rd thought. Is he's like Annabeth. Yeah, that's been the 3rd thought the whole time. It's just that now it's like, oh, he's doing actions for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But he saves her, and they end up at the island, and they see a bunch of sheep, and they realize that they have found the island that Grover is at. They see the fleece up on the hill, and Annabeth's like, they're not protecting it. That's crazy. And then they see that the sheep are essentially giant piranha sheep.
Yep.
So fun.
So fun. I thought there were like 2 sets of sheep, like one set of like piranha sheep.
There's the piranha sheep that are on the outer rim, and then the sheep that the Cyclops, what's his face, actually
Polymetheus.
Yeah, that actually cares and protects are the inner sheep. But it's like there's
the outer sheep are the ones that they can't get past.
Yeah. So they climb the cliffs.
They climb the cliffs, and then they also they sneak into the Cyclops' lair, and
Clarice is there captured, and
and she also reveals that Grover is Grover and a satyr. And Grover buys himself like another couple hours
with
by being
the nobody trick.
No, with the you should make me with mango chutney. I'd be so much better. You'll get botulism and E. coli.
Yeah,
and then that's when Annabeth and Percy break out the nobody trick.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It is.
After the nobody bit, and Polyphemus is like, well, I'm going to marry Clarice because I'm not going to, back and forth. There's a line. On the other hand, he wanted to marry Grover, so he couldn't have been all that bright on the whole male-female thing. And I commented, he's so #woke.
Yeah, because the nobody's voice was like female over male, and then
before he's like, so poor Polyphemus, he just wants a mate.
Yeah,
he just wants a buddy. He's also a monster.
He's also a monster trying to marry teenagers.
No, yeah, he shouldn't marry teenagers or kidnap or any of the other awful things he does. But like, also,
it's also a little weird to me because like he knows who nobody was.
Like when Jason or whoever did it.
It was Odysseus.
Odysseus, yes.
If you haven't listened to Epic, go listen to Epic. But yeah, no, he knows who nobody is. Yeah. So why is he sitting there being like, oh, I've wanted so long to get my revenge? Your daddy got you your revenge.
Yeah.
Like, very famously.
Yeah. Well, Cyclops are dumb. We have to remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah.
Annabeth gets knocked out during like the situation, and so is Percy and Grover and Clarice.
They activate one of the like camp tactics, which is like so fun to see. Yes. Like them actually use training.
Yes. And then Percy is almost able to kill Polyphemus, but then it like convinces him not to kill him, and Percy falls for it.
Yeah, Percy falls for it.
He's convinced by it.
He's convinced because he doesn't want to. He can't help but think about like Tyson and like his brother and the fact that they're related, and Percy, bless his heart, not exactly cold-hearted killer yet.
Yeah, and then Tyson ends up saving the day.
Yeah, because Percy walks away, and of course Polyphemus is like, I'm going to try to kill you. And that's when Tyson swoops in and reveals that he was saved by Rainbow the hippocampy, who had been following him the whole time.
I love Rainbow.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. They get the golden fleece. They're able to give it to Annabeth to revive her.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to the ocean, but the Cyclops is chasing them still.
And Clarice taunts it.
Yes.
And it like throws a rock through the Queen Anne's Revenge, and the ship like starts to sink.
Yep.
And then I don't remember what happens.
Rainbow and the other hippocampi come and take them.
Okay.
Essentially. And they're able to get to the hippocampi, bring them to Miami, but the closer and closer they get to Miami, the slower and slower the hippocampi are because of all the pollution in the water.
Yeah.
And which, again, great way to incorporate the modern and mythology, like how are they existing in this world? Humans are destroying the world. And then that's, I thought that was like, it's not like a big thing here, but it adds to the canon.
It adds to the canon, and it also helps explain why is there less like magic and mystery in the world, because like pollution is bad for animals. Yeah
But they are able to send Clarice with the golden fleece on a plane back to camp ASAP, so it fulfills the prophecy, but also Percy cannot go in the air because Zeus is gonna strike him once he's in the air.
He had the one exception one time, and he's not allowed to do it ever again.
And as soon as Clarice takes off to the airport, that's when Luke and the rest of his cronies appear, and they get captured.
Yeah.
Briefly.
And it's really funny because like he's like, I need the fleece, give me the fleece. And Percy's like, it's gone. Yeah. And he's like, what do you sent it with Clarice?
Yeah, and they do this trick where they call Mr. D in the mist as Luke is doing his whole villain speech.
Yep.
Which I love. Because Luke is just so like hot-headed in this moment and like doing his whole villainous I'm a mastermind that he doesn't even see.
But it's also it's really funny too, because it's like Percy tries to keep everyone's attention on him as well. And this is where Percy is like good at things.
Yes.
And
he's good at improving in these specific moments.
Yes.
Not always, but here.
I think generally speaking, again, he's really good. He's really good at this kind of like chaos.
Yes.
When he can like throw a wrench in the plans of other people.
Yeah.
So and it's also really funny to me because he like does the thing with the with Dionysus.
Yes.
And then he gets Luke to basically repeat the whole plan
and admit that he was the one that poisoned Talia's tree.
And that Chiron had nothing to do with it and all of this stuff. And he's like, oh.
And then Percy's like, Luke, you can fight me. Not everyone versus everyone. You versus me. You're so big and bad. Fight me.
And he's like, I'm not going to be baited into a fight. And then 2 seconds later.
But then after they start battling, then Chiron and all the party ponies.
I know.
I love them so much because Chiron's been hanging out with his like cousins, the other centaurs in the world, and they all like come in and essentially save the day. They don't necessarily. It's not a huge battle, but they
get enough surprise to like get them to safety.
Yeah,
and that's like that was the only goal, as Chiron later says. Like, no, that was a draw.
Yeah, I love that the centaurs, when they're together, can run faster. And I love that we have like a bunch of like redneck centaurs, and we have a bunch of like Miami party, like raving centaurs. Like you see all these different ones, and you see Chiron, who's like, I am this wise, legendary trainer of heroes, and here I am with my brethren, and they have no thoughts. And I hate it. I hate being here. I need to go back to camp. And I love that.
And it's also so funny because they make a reference to it early on that, like, you know, Chiron in the mist dies.
Yes.
And then he is revived by the gods specifically to train heroes.
Yes.
So, like, they have this, like, brief moment of angst where they're like, but what if you're not training heroes anymore? Will you lose your immortality? He's like, be safe, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's also a nice reference to how creepy the centaurs are in the myth. All the time without making it like super creepy. It's more PG.
Yes.
Of like, these are wild party animals.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's all we're going to leave it at.
Yeah. But they get back to camp. They have put the fleece on Talia's
Can we
tree.
talk about Tantalus really quickly?
Yes.
Because Tantalus gets sent back and as he finally captures a cheeseburger and he's just about to take a bite when he gets sent back to hell. And it's like, man, may I never piss off anyone enough to end up in the fields of punishment, because
Seriously.
you know for a fact that the curse only lifted enough because it knew that he was about to go back down.
I know.
Oh,
it's so
funny.
fun.
It's so rewarding too, because this guy is such a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When they're back at camp, there's a delivery from Hermes and a letter from Poseidon to Percy that just says, brace yourself, which is like, yes, from what we read in the next chapter, but also what happens the rest of the series. And it's just like, that's all you're saying to your son, but also it's better than nothing.
It's such a weird, like, I wish they would and I think they do this in the series a little bit better from what I remember from the first season, is they need to make it kind of more explicit why the gods don't get involved in their kids' lives.
Yes.
And I think like by the 5th book, they kind of talk about it enough with the revelation of Hermes and Luke.
Yes. But and then also throughout this book, we get bits and pieces of this prophecy that Chiron's like, I will not tell Percy about, and Annabeth, you can't tell him. And then Annabeth ends up telling him.
Because she hasn't sworn an oath to the gods.
Yeah, exactly. And so we find out that a child of the big 3 will be, is it the savior?
It's either going to like save or destroy the age of gods.
Yes. And which is why the big 3 decided not to keep having kids, even though, spoiler, obviously Percy. But then they have the chariot race again, which is like, whatever. But after the chariot race, which Percy and Annabeth win, Tyson goes to has a sweet little goodbye. He goes to the forges. He's going to go learn and do an internship and go be with his dad in the sea. It is like,
and poor Percy's like, okay, so not only am I losing my brother, my dad like is inviting him to the place that I've never been invited to.
Cool.
Okay,
cool.
that's
great.
And all he gave me was a letter telling me to brace myself.
Yeah. And he's like, interesting. And then they go and they see up by the tree, there's a girl. And we find out that the golden fleece not only healed the tree, but healed the tree so much that it brought back Talia.
And that was also part of Luke's plan.
Yes.
Because not only did they want to heal Kronos, they wanted to put another wild card in there because it's pretty clear that Percy is not going to be helpful to them.
Yeah. Yeah. But the book ends on that kind of like cliffhanger of now we have Talia, who's another kid of the big 3. Is she going to be on Percy and Annabeth's side, or is she going to go to Luke? What does this mean? Is Percy the chosen one? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And
big prophecy stuff.
Yeah.
And it really sets up this element of, okay, now things are changing.
Yeah. Yeah. We also forgot to mention the trauma that Annabeth keeps avoiding telling Percy is that a Cyclops is the one that killed Talia.
No.
Right?
No. A Cyclops tricked them in Manhattan or Brooklyn or wherever.
Yes.
And like used the voice mimicry trick to like imitate each other to make them like lure them into a trap. And then when Annabeth like caught them and was about to free them, the Cyclops started talking in the voice of her father.
Yes. Yeah.
And it slowed them down enough that they got killed by monsters.
Yes.
They change it in the movie.
Yeah.
Which honestly is probably a good choice.
Yes. But yeah, I had such a fun time reading this. And I gave it, like, originally on my Goodreads and stuff, I had put all these books at 5 stars just because they're like nostalgic favorites. But like rereading this, I'm like, it's a 4-star, and that's a very generous 4-star.
Yeah.
Just because I had so much fun. I like zoomed through it because, again, middle grade book, but also it's well written. It's fun. Like, I know these characters. But yeah, I was just like, I gotta keep reading. This is so like I want to continue the series right now. I'm not going to because I have too much else I'm reading, and also gotta wait till next season of the show because it is in production right now.
Yes, it is.
But I had such a blast reading this. I'm so excited to watch the movie and the TV show.
I'm also very excited to watch the movie and the TV show.
Yes.
Well, I'll save that for when I talk to you about the movie.
Yes. I did not look up any fun facts.
I don't have any fun facts.
Yeah.
I never do.
Yeah.
Except for when I do.
It's easier to look up movie fun facts than book fun facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great time. If you've listened this far in the episode and you've not read the book yet, go read it.
What are you doing?
I know.
Like.
But also, thank you.
Respectfully, like so respectfully. I understand not reading every book that comes on the podcast.
Yes.
Because sometimes things just aren't your vibe. Like, I'm not into romance. So I haven't read any of the romance, books about, like, Red, White, and Blue or Heated Rivalry or anything like that. And that's okay, because that's just not my vibe.
Yeah.
Percy Jackson is like it's like a 2-hour read.
It's not a 2-hour read.
Like,
that's Amanda crazy speed.
Oh.
Yeah. No. You could read this book within a day for sure.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's a 1-day read. No, it's a quick read. It's a good read.
It also helps that I've read it like 6 times.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I want to reread the rest of it, but I have too much I'm also reading. Anyways, next week's episode will just be on the movie Percy Jackson, the Sea of Monsters, starring my boy Logan Lerman.
And the girl who can't act.
Hey, we won't watch the movie for her. We watch the movie for him.
Who is we?
We being me and all my friends.
Okay, I'm your friend.
Me and all my Logan lovers.
Okay, there we
go.
You got to be specific. And Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
I will watch the movie for him.
Yes. And then the week after, we'll be talking about
the TV show.
Obviously, we haven't yet to watch it. And I don't think I'm going to split it into 2 episodes. It just depends on how much we yap. Because I'm assuming there's like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And they're each going to be like an hour each.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to
edit ourselves.
Yeah. Or limit ourselves. Anyways, we'll see in the future. You will know because you're in the future, listeners. We are in the past. Thank you, listeners, for listening along. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Read the Book First Podcast. Rate us 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, don't worry about it. Share the podcast with your friends. Make sure to follow us on your preferred podcast platform. Thanks for listening. And remember,
read the book first.